It's been an up and down 2016 season for the green and gold. Injuries and inconsistent play have haunted Bob Melvin and the boys. On the other hand, the team has shown lots of positives. Their offense can score some runs when they get rolling, and their starting rotation is beginning to take shape, relying on some young starters to pave the way. Tonight, one of those young starters gets the ball to open up the second half. Daniel Migden, the 23-year-old rookie, has shown lots of promise, and he looks to be a fixture in the A's rotation for years to come. It's game 1 of 3. A's, Jays, next. A second half starts tonight here at the Coliseum. It is the beginning of a 10-game homestand. Daniel Migden, the young right-hander, is going to pitch for the Athletics, and he will be opposed by Blue Jays right-hander Marcus Stroman. It's the first of a 3-game series. It's the A's and the Blue Jays coming up on CSN California. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. It will be the 7th start of the year for Daniel Migden. And like any young pitcher, it's all about adjustments. And for Migden, he's got good stuff. He's been good, but he did get knocked around a little bit in his last start.
You know, I think a lot of it is about going through the lineup first time, second time. You look at the numbers, the familiarity. These teams are seeing him for the first time. The Blue Jays are having that experience tonight. His numbers are good the first time through, but then they start to not be as good as he would like to see them. So for him, it's the adjustments after he sees the lineup for the first time. He has to make some changes. He has a little bit of a different delivery. The teams will see that, but for him, he's pitched well enough to have a lot more wins than he has right now.
Well, for the Blue Jays, remember last year they won the division by getting hot in the second half. They're doing it again. They're only 2 games out of first place coming into tonight's action. Offensively, they hit a lot of home runs. They will ground into double plays, but that's because they got a lot of runners on base. The pitching's been very good, and defensively, they're good. So what we're telling you is this is a very well-rounded team, Ray, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the postseason again.
And they are playing better, and they still do not have Jose Bautista in the lineup right now. So when he comes back, who knows what they're going to do. They're probably going to win the division.
Joe, it'll be a good challenge for Daniel Migden and the Athletics to open up this second half. It's the A's, and it's the powerful Toronto Blue Jays coming up. We'll have lineups in first pitch. Speaking of lineups, we got a major league debut. That was Ryan Healy. He's the third baseman tonight for the Athletics. We'll look forward to that.
on CSN California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. It's back, the Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack. Taste it before it's gone at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, the All-Star Stephen Vogt leading the A's out of the dugout with the all-whites tonight. As we open up the second half, it's the A's and the Blue Jays. First of three game time weather for tonight, presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily, 66 degrees. It's breezy tonight. We've seen quite a few breezy nights at the Coliseum this year. So let's look at the lineup for the Toronto Blue Jays. It starts with the right fielder Ezequiel Carrera and Josh Donaldson. Another big season for Donaldson, followed by Edwin Encarnacion, the DH. Michael Saunders, he was an all-star, he's in left. Russell Martin is your catcher. Troy Tulowitzki is the shortstop. Justin Smoke at first. Kevin Pillar in center. And Devin Travis is back, and that's a big deal for the Blue Jays.
And Daniel Mingden gets to start tonight. Everybody thought it's going to be Rich Hill, but he is not. It's Daniel Mingden, and he's very happy to be taking the mound, looking for his second win, making his 7th start, as we detailed in our open, talking about how well he has pitched and his numbers one time through the batting order versus second and third, but got the handlebar mustache up, ready to go to face the Blue Jays for the first time.
All right, here's the defense for the A's tonight. Davis, Smolinski, and Reddick in the outfield. And that's the rookie Major League debut tonight. Ryan Healy, he's at third base. Then Simeon, Lowry, and Alonso around the infield with Stephen Vogt doing the catching. So a big night for that young man, Ryan Healy. We'll tell you all about him. But he is up. He's a big leaguer, and he is in the lineup tonight playing third base. So we're set to go from the Coliseum. Migden rocks once, rocks twice, and delivers, and the first pitch is in for a strike. So it'll be Carrera, Donaldson, and Encarnacion for the Blue Jays.
And Ryan Healy has already been to the School of Ron Washington baseball for infielders. He was out early today, which is a great sign to see.
The umpires for tonight, that's Mark Wegner calling balls and strike. Mike Malinsky, Paul Emmel, and Marty Foster.
Great changeup, and he's got a good one. And you know, you saw Carrera taking the first pitch fastball, and I think you're going to see the Blue Jays doing what other clubs have done when they face Mingden for the first time. They just try to take a look at his delivery.
Fastball is up, 2-2 the count.
But his strikeouts are up. He's doing a good job striking out batters as an assortment of pitches, and he's got the veteran Stephen Vogt, the all-star, working with him again tonight.
Curve, and now it's a full count. Carrera hitting .281 with 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. Jose Bautista still on the disabled list for the Blue Jays, so we will not see him in this series. Carrera starting in right field and leading it off. And a foul tip, swing and a miss, and we start the game with a strikeout. Hey, greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Transactions today, as we told you. Ryan Healy in the big leagues for the first time. Billy Burns was optioned back down to AAA Nashville. So that is our greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. So Billy Burns not having quite the success that he had last year. So he'll try to straighten things out down in the minor leagues.
And probably a good idea for Billy Burns to get a chance to go to the minor leagues and play every day. Try to get his swing back and probably work on the one thing that he needs to do is hit the ball on the ground, utilize his speed. Josh Donaldson, a nice round of applause from the hometown crowd.
Broken bat towards shallow left. Davis is there, still coming in, and he makes the catch. So Donaldson out in front of that one, and that's 2 outs here in the first.
We got a lineup from front office, and this is always interesting. This is John Donaldson playing tonight, the former Athletic from way back a long time ago. Not Josh Donaldson, but
former teammate of yours.
Yeah, but I asked Josh when he's here, I said, remember John Donaldson? He goes, who? He looked him up, though. He's a baseball historian. He knows. So he came back to me a little bit. Yeah, I know who John Donaldson was. I'm Josh, though, and he's very good, is Josh.
First pitch just a bit high to Edwin Encarnacion. So it's always good to see Josh Donaldson having another Terrific season for the Blue Jays.
Well, he's putting himself in rare company to score 80 runs in the first half of the season with 20 home runs, and there's only 6 counting himself that's ever done that in Major League Baseball. That's pretty impressive.
Yep.
Of course, this guy's driving in 80, not Josh is scoring. This guy's driving him in. He has 80 at the break starting play tonight, so quite a first half for Encarnacion. His price tag probably has gone up considerably as a free agent to be.
Somebody's going to pay him a lot.
Yeah.
23 home runs and 80 RBIs for Edwin Encarnacion at the All-Star break. It's that one hard, but foul. So the 20 homers and 80 runs at the All-Star break. There's your list. Reggie Jackson in 1969, but look at the names on that list. Wow.
Especially the top two, Lou Gehrig and Teddy Baseball, Ted Williams, Boston, 36 and 46. But look at Lou Gehrig with 92 runs in 1936. Wow.
Swing and a miss. Fastball a little under the hands, and a good first inning for Migden as he has a couple of strikeouts. A's come to bat when we come back. Daniel Migden. And let's look at the lineup for the A's tonight. Coco Crisp is in the lineup. He's going to DH tonight. Then Lowry, Reddick, Davis, Vogt, Simeon, Alonso, Smolinski, and then Ryan Healy making his Major League debut.
And the right-hander Marcus Stroman, what a season last year to tear his ACL in spring, yet to come back, make 4 starts, and pitch in postseason. What a story for Marcus Stroman. A good fastball that he possesses. Curveball, remember talking to Buck Martinez, not with the Blue Jays this weekend, but he's broadcaster for Toronto. He said this young man can pitch. The A's saw him in 14. That's the only time, so they'll see him again tonight.
Ryan Healy getting the scouting report.
I think they can have iPads in the dugout now, but it's baseball related only. You can't be watching movies or, you know, you can't watch the opposing team try to get their signs, but scouting reports, of course, Darren Bush, the A's hitting coach, has everything on Marcus Stroman. As he has the David Price, kind of the wind up, turned sideways to the plate.
Facing Coco Crisp. Coco at 244 with 7 home runs and 37 runs batted in. Coco with 19 doubles, 3 triples. He's got 5 stolen bases. So good first half for Coco Crisp.
Marcus Semien pointed out something, and of course players look at schedules. He said, man, we got a pretty tough schedule the second half of the season. Start looking at teams the A's are playing and the success the teams are having.
There's a shot toward right center. Carrera misplayed it. Now he's got to hustle in, and he makes the catch. So 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Defensively for the Toronto Blue Jays, Michael Saunders, Kevin Pillar, and Ezekiel Carrera in the outfield. Donaldson, Tulowitzki, not Jose Bautista. That's going to be Devin Travis, and Justin Smoke is at first, and Russell Martin is the catcher.
And Carrera got a little bit of the right field sun on the ball hit by Coco, and that's what he's looking into. And broke back a little bit before charging in and making the play.
So here's Lowry at 283, a couple of home runs and 25 RBIs. Lines that one foul down the left field line. A's are 38 and 51, so game number 90.
There he is.
For the Athletics. That's our buddy. Just like that, you should get a foul ball every game.
And gave it to little baby who says, "What is that?" But says, "Thank you anyway, and I'll remember you in about 4 years when I figure out what a baseball is."
When I wake up from my nap. Line drive and a base hit on a 1-1 pitch for Lowry. So Lowry went down to get that ball.
Oh, he's gone back to it. Josh Reddick with his walk-up music. Breaking ball from Stroman and hit very hard by Jed Lowry. And you know, the one thing, Kipe, as we know, baseball is all about timing. And how many times you see the first game after a 4-day break where hitters are a little bit tardy. Both clubs worked out. Of course, the A's this afternoon, extra batting practice. But usually a pitcher with good velocity has success just because hitters are a little bit slow. Stroman, one breaking ball, he threw it to Jed Lowry and hit a base hit. Fastballs to everybody else so far. There's a breaking ball taken nicely.
So 2-0 the count to Reddick.
Remember a game that Rich Harden started against the Texas Rangers. A perfect game till the 8th inning. And a bloop base hit by, trying to think, Alfonso Soriano. And a bloop base hit to center field, but a perfect game because hitters just couldn't get around on his fastball.
So 3-0 now to Reddick with Chris Davis waiting in the on-deck circle. These are 17 and 26 at home. And there's a 4-pitch walk to Reddick. So 2 on 1 out for Davis.
Batting in the fourth position, left
The A's were in Toronto earlier this year. In fact, it was mid-April. And the Blue Jays won 2 out of 3 in that series.
John Gibbons, their manager for the second time, 10th season, a couple of stints. 606 wins. Of course, Cito Gaston, back-to-back championships in '92-'93 for the Blue Jays. He's got the most wins. Came back again a little bit later. Took him out of retirement to take over the club again.
One's low. 5 straight balls for Stroman. And the Blue Jays are currently the second wild card team in the American League, but they're just a couple of games behind the first place Orioles. Up the middle, off of Travis. It scoots in the left center field, and the A's are going to take an early lead. Reddick hustles all the way to third. A very hard hit ball by Chris Davis, and Devin Travis could not handle it.
How many times have we talked about a ground ball hit by Chris Davis? Look out, infielders. This ball should have been a double play. This ball hit so hard by the time it got to Travis, it was all over him. He did not know what to do, and that ball was smoked by Chris Davis. He can turn on the fastball, and he just proved it again. And Jed Lowry scoring easily with Reddick, like you said, hustling to third base. But that's just the impact of the baseball off the bat of Chris Davis. Unbelievable.
Good note there on the A's. Hitting with runners in scoring position since June 11th. So here's Vogt. The first pitch is a fastball low. Expo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort.
I think the biggest question, Chris Davis, how do you handle the shift? Well, he just handled it because they were shifting him up the middle. And the ball just riveted off his back.
There's a strike. Vogt at 277 with 7 home runs, 27 RBIs. Blocked by Mark.
Stephen Vogt named to the All-Star team when the A's were in Houston. So Bob Melvin presenting his All-Star jersey to the second-year All-Star.
Missed outside.
I think it'd have been fun if he'd gotten to catch Stephen Wright. The knuckleballer.
He was ready.
Yeah. Right now ready for a fastball from Stroman with a man at third.
So that one rolled into the Blue Jays dugout. Runners on base. League is hitting .320 against Marcus Stroman. He's got very good stuff, but he's had some stretches this year where he has not been very good. Thus the ERA of 4.89.
Still a 3-1 slider.
Towards second, Travis is going to only be able to get the out at first, and that's going to get a run home. So Davis moving, and that helps the A's get a run, and it's now 2-0, and Vogt gets RBI number 28.
One of the best things a manager can do on 3-2 is force the hitter to make contact. And with Davis running, this is a double play ground ball, but because Davis was running, the only play for Travis was the first base, first and third. There's your run with Chris Davis going to second. That is a play that, say it often, and Stephen Vogt made contact, and fortunately Chris Davis was on the move.
Also gets Davis in scoring position, and here's Marcus Semien. 19 home runs in the first half for Semien. First pitch breaking ball is in the dirt. 47 RBIs, and I would imagine Marcus Semien probably enjoyed the 4 days off and probably needed the 4 days off. Started every game for the A's.
Daniel Migden's ready to go out. He's got a 2-0 lead so far. But I think with what Marcus Semien did say about knowing the schedule, I think this could pay dividends for the ball club because they are playing contending teams a lot this second half. And because of that, this is one of them. Of course, Houston coming in. You know, Tampa Bay 4-game series. They're struggling in the East, but you got first 6 games of this homestand against 2 teams that are trying to do something in the respective divisions.
Good movement down below the knees by Stroman. 1-2. A couple of early runs for the A's here in the first. Stroman, 22 pitches in this inning.
Russell Martin, the veteran catcher, trying to incorporate more breaking balls into his pitching in this inning, and unfortunately he's gotten to the point where he's coming with the fastballs. He'll throw a cutter, curveball, slider. Got a good fastball.
There's the breakdown.
Definitely likes his fastball, and got a cutter, but not as much.
And that one's drilled towards center. Pilar on the move, and Pilar, he caught it. He is sensational in center field, and he just showed us why. A great play by Kevin Pilar to save a run, but the A's do get 2 in the first. So 2-0 Athletics after 1. couple of runs in the bottom of the first. Migden will face Saunders, Martin, and Tulowitzki for the Blue Jays here in the second. First pitch from Migden is low. A couple of strikeouts in the first inning for Migden.
Oh, Canada voted heavily for Mr. Michael Saunders, who is the 5th and one of the 5 selected for the voting for the one final All-Star. He was named All-Star. When the A's saw him earlier, he was not hitting as well as he is right now. 16 home runs, 42 driven in. For Saunders, the big outfielder.
He's got 25 doubles, a couple of triples. Base percentage of .372. So we saw him a fair amount with the Seattle Mariners, and he had some moments. He never really put it all together. It looks like this year he has put it all together.
I think they'd like to see Justin Smoak do the same thing. He's at first base.
Volt's going to have to hurry. He throws, and he threw it away, and it's going to roll down the right field line. Saunders takes a look at his third base coach, and he's going to stop at second.
Well, I have to wonder where Saunders was in a base path. You always look at that, and where Stephen Vogt had to throw into the runner topped, and he called off Migden, which is a better opportunity for him. Saunders running down the baseline.
Batting in the 5th position.
So
You got to be kidding me. He doesn't get a hit on that. Listen, sometimes you have to look. I mean, if that's a tough play for anybody, and for Stephen Vogt to have to throw into the runner and for Alonso to have to catch it. And of course, you could say a good throw, but he had to throw into the runner, and Alonso tried to scoop it, could not. So E2 all the way.
And that'll bring up Russell Martin. So Migden into the stretch for the first time.
Migden has made 6 starts, this being his 7th. 4 of the 6 he is left trailing. And given an early lead tonight, pitching out of the stretch for the first time. Well, Stephen Vogt grab, throw down to his knees, and the hitter. See Saunders running. He was staying in the running path, so he did not veer inside. It's just the fact that Stephen Vogt had no choice but to throw into the runner.
Good swing there by Russell Martin. He got a pitch to his liking. Martin, 228 the average, 7 home runs, 36 RBIs. Second year, that big 5-year contract he signed with the Blue Jays going into last year. 5 years, $82 million. Pitch just missed inside.
Well, the Yankees let Russell Martin get away, went to the Pirates, and then signed a big contract with his home country, the Blue Jays. Yes. I don't know where it was, but Martin had to be holding his breath just off the plate, according to Mark Wegner.
It's blocked by Vogt. Tulowitzki to follow. Migden's last start in Houston, where he went 4 2/3 inning, that was the first time he did not go 5 innings in a start. Bounce to the right side. Lowry charges, checks the runner, and Saunders goes to third, 1 out.
Well, the beloved worldwide phenomenon of Hello Kitty is back. Add to your collection with this year's version of Hello Kitty dressed to the nines in full A's catcher's gear. Tomorrow, it is here tomorrow against the Blue Jays. 15,000 fans can pick up and hug their very own Hello Kitty bobblehead. Visit athletics.com/tickets today. It is tomorrow. And there's Hello Kitty, that catching gear. Does that look sharp away?
Yeah, got to get one of those. Here's Tulowitzki. Fastball inside from Migden. 239 for Tulowitzki with 15 home runs, 43 RBIs. As Ray mentioned, he's starting to swing it better.
Well, the infield is back, so all Tulowitzki has to do is make contact. Russell Martin, a great job moving Saunders over to third base. So the fact that Mingden has struck out a couple of batters already, it'd be a nice time to get another strikeout.
Last 19 games, a .329 average for Tulowitzki. A little bit more like it. He's been on the disabled list this year. Tulowitzki has always been really one of the better all-around players in all of baseball, but you can generally count on him going on the disabled list once a year.
Now the Blue Jays this time last year made a huge trade, and was Tulowitzki they acquired. And of course they picked up the extra years on the contract.
A shot foul. Tulowitzki has a contract through 2020. So that's a big load to pick up, and when he's healthy, he's terrific.
Got that right there, the 2-1 fastball. I would venture to say if you're a regular every day, it's going to be hit. It was hit to the right side, so a good fastball. And I think the timing for a hitter is this, coming out of the break, it's a little bit different. And see how the 2-2 pitch is.
Tap slowly toward third. Well, he's going to go across the diamond. Alonso digs it out for the out. Saunders comes in to score, and it's a 2-1 game. Tulowitzki gets his 44th RBIs. Not an easy play on his first chance for Ryan Healy.
Alonso upset probably with Stephen Vogt, but Healy, with the runner going down, Stephen Vogt, you see him pointed to first base, nice scoop. And for Healy, he's going to realize that at first base, there's a pretty good guy who could handle low throws, any throws, and right over the top. And Alonso made the nice scoop at first.
So with 2 outs, Justin Smoak will step up, and Smoak lines one into left field. The base hit. Shift was on. I think that's going to be a hit no matter what. So Smoak on the first pitch. That's the first hit for the Blue Jays.
Well, his off speed first pitch, and he just stayed back. Got an inside out swing, and for Smoak, good opportunity to take advantage of the vacated left side of the infield, especially the changeup.
So here's Kevin Pillar. Pillar at .268, 7 homers, 35 RBIs.
He can play some center field, and Marcus Semien found out about it. Robbing him of extra bases and another run for the Athletics, but Pillar is known for the Blue Jays with his defense. Usually he's hitting down in the bottom part of the batting order, but he probably takes away more runs than he's ever going to think about driving in.
Yeah, he took over the regular job last year and ended up playing in 159 games, and whatever he does offensively is a plus because he can do this.
That was a slicing line drive on the breaking ball. The Pillar, great jump, and I'm sure he enjoys falling on this natural grass. They have the artificial field turf in Toronto. But he can play some center field. Right now, Mingden trying to get the final out of the inning.
Good pitch. And the count is 1-2. Kevin Pillar.
Another good fastball, and Stephen Vogt outside the ball, just coming back towards the middle. And again, this is the 8th batter facing Mingden for the first time.
So the error to open up the inning has cost the A's a run. Straight up defense for Pillar. Hits that one off the end of the bat foul.
Okay.
Pillar last year .278 with 12 homers. Really good offensive numbers across the board. Similar numbers this year.
Really a young man who, given the opportunity, took advantage of it, and the Blue Jays said we got to keep him in there. And basically what happened at the beginning of the season.
And if you think about the Blue Jays, Ray, their lineup is very good. They're going to score a ton of runs. And he's turned out to be a pretty good offensive player. They can afford to think about defense in center field because they have so much firepower everywhere else.
What a novelty. Something you actually think about defense strong up the middle. And he covers a lot of ground. And you're right. That's the old theory. Strong defensively up the middle. Pilar definitely does that.
But, and we're not saying that he does not do anything offensively. He actually has become a pretty good offensive player. Got 21 doubles this year, a couple of triples to go along with his 7 home runs. Hits this one in the air towards shallow right where Reddick trots in. And that will do it. So a run for the Blue Jays. Ryan Healy will get his first big league at bat. He will hit third in the bottom of the 2nd inning. 2-1 after an inning and a half. California is brought to you by AAA. Get a free Ace Cap with a new AAA membership. Visit a participating AAA branch by August 30th. Restrictions apply. Ace 2, Blue Jays 1, bottom of the 2nd inning. A few purchases being made there. They may put the A's gear on that they just bought tonight.
It's a good idea. And then Tommy adds it behind him.
Cool. Chilly night. Alonso Smolinski Healy for the A's here in the 2nd against Stroman, who was not sharp in the 1st inning. Gave up a couple of hits, a walk. That's a base hit right field. Hard hit ball by Yonder Alonso, who has really been swinging a hot bat as of late.
The 7th batter faced by Stroman. Not one has he gotten a first pitch strike. When you go 2-0, hitter can pick it up a little bit. And Alonso, who has been swinging the bat extremely well, jumped on it. And I mean, he finished the 1st half on a positive note in Houston. Hitting the Astros very well and starts the 2nd half. First base hit for Alonso.
And here's Smolinski. First pitch outside corner, first strike. And with Billy Burns being sent down, it wouldn't surprise me, Ray, if the A's take a little bit longer look at Smolinski in center field.
I think it says it tonight with Coco Crisp as the DH instead of in center. And so it's really something that it's not a shock in a sense. Coco is in the lineup as a DH leading off. But when Billy Burns, who has been playing in center, is sent down, then it really, Chris Davis is not. Josh Reddick can, but will stay in right field. So Smolinski is the one to try to see what he can do. And be given the opportunity. But like I said, when our Open, you're 13 under 500, and you've got, you know, you got to do something, and you might as well see what you have. And for Bob Melvin, who is as good as manager there is, and just trying to, he's still going to try to win every game. But the bottom line, what is the future of the ball club? And we'll see.
On the outside corner, and the count is even at 2-2.
Smolinski just asked Mark Wegner, and now he knows that if the same pitch is thrown, he has to hit and swing and try to hit the ball to right field with a fastball outside.
Hit hard towards short. Should be 2, and it will be 2. So a hard hit ball right at Tulowitzki, so that's a double play. And now the first big league at bat for Ryan Healy. A's fans know what's going on. They'll give him a nice ovation.
Number 48, Ryan Healy.
There's the Healy family, and they're psyched. So good luck to the young man. We hope he has a long and productive career. This is his first big league at bat. Having a good season in the minor league. Started the year in Double-A, and then middle of May moved up to Triple-A and just kept on hitting.
And he's got some size to him, and thinking of Mark Trumbo, the home runs, what, 28 the first half that he's hit for the Orioles.
And 6'4", 235 pounds, Ryan Healy. Third round pick of the Athletics in 2013, went to the University of Oregon. And I think, Ray, he's going to get a chance to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's already got the Derek Jeter move where he puts up his right hand, asking for time till he gets set. So he's been watching a little TV.
Played in the Futures game down in San Diego on Sunday and had a couple of hits.
That's a good opportunity for these kids to play in a future game where they leave their team and play in front of the crowd. Big crowds as always.
His combined numbers in the minors this year, 326 with 14 homers and 64 RBIs in 85 games. Very solid numbers. Tight slider, and Healy strikes out. So the double play helps Marcus Stroman, and the A's do not score in the second. Third inning coming up. Most strikeouts in the first 6 games in A's history. Going back to 1913, Daniel Migden, 37 strikeouts in his first 6 games behind Hudson Nash and Blake Stein.
Yeah, that's a good name. Remember that.
Blake Stein. So Daniel Migden coming into this start, 37 strikeouts in 35 2/3 innings. This is Devin Travis, second baseman, who's back healthy again, and Blue Jays are thrilled with that. 264, 6 home runs, 21 runs batted in.
Pretty good pop down in the bottom of the batting order with Smoke with 9 home runs, Pilar 7, Travis with 6. Of course, you have a whole bunch of guys at the top hitting a lot of home runs. It's contagious. At least it seems that way for this club.
Travis last year was hitting .304, 62 games, but his shoulder started to bother him. And he ended up having surgery and did not play the rest of the year. And he was not playing when we were in Toronto earlier this year. Ryan Goins, who's now on the disabled list.
That pitcher named Goins.
That's right. He's got an ERA. Goins, pretty good defensive player, but this young man a much better hitter. And I think the Blue Jays are thrilled to have him healthy and back, and another offensive addition to the Blue Jays. And he shoots that one into center field for a base hit. Leadoff man aboard for the Blue Jays here in the third, and now
Seventh pitch in the at bat, and for Travis, who had watched him, and I'm sure intently. You've seen a pitcher for the first time, and then you come up to hit. You see 6 pitches, have an idea to get the 3 and 2, get a fastball.
So here's Ezekiel Carrera, who struck out swinging in the first inning. So the disabled list for the Blue Jays has Bautista, Goins, and don't forget about Marco Estrada, pretty good starting pitcher. A little back injury, but he should be back. Bautista, toe injury, he figures to be back in a couple weeks, so he'll be a nice addition for the Blue Jays for the final 2 months of the season. Sometimes those guys coming back from the disabled list, it's like adding a guy. Right. Bautista has not been out a long time, but he's dangerous. And he's a free agent. It'll be interesting to see if he stays in Toronto and adds to some of those Blue Jays career numbers.
Well, at the beginning of the season, before he got injured, he was looking at 150 for 5.
He's not going to get that, but he may get close.
Some are saying maybe a Yoenis Cespedes type contract, 3 at 75. Still pretty good wages.
Healy has it, fires to second for 1, and no throw to first. He's get the lead runner.
Well, the young man's at the hot corner for Healy, and he made that nice play and getting the lead runner. Also, a play that we saw with Tulowitzki, and so good start for the young man, even though he did strike out in his first at bat. But that's a good play. Anytime you get the lead runner, keep a runner out of scoring position, it's very easy to go across the diamond, but catch the ball in front of the bag on the grass, then back across his body. And a perfect throw to Jed Lowry. No chance for a double play.
Here's Donaldson. Strike outside corner. Donaldson hit a fly ball to left field in the first.
Marty Foster or Mark Wegner likes the outside corner. Foster will not be at home plate in this series.
Carrera, base stealing threat. He's got 5. He's been thrown out 3 times, so keep an eye on him. Encarnacion to follow. Inside corner strike, 1 and 2.
I think he was looking for something else, because Josh Donaldson, pretty good fastball hitter, and The way he took this pitch, while it did start from the outside and ran inside, Stephen Vogt with the target away. But Donaldson, an excellent eye, and that's why his on-base percentage with the walks always high every year. Got to get on base to score 80 runs, and he is on base a lot.
He leads the American League in walks. Carrera inches off. 1-2 the count to Donaldson. Straightaway defense. Donaldson first in runs, first in walks, second in slugging, third in on base, third in homers, fourth in RBIs, fourth in total bases. So he's really doing it again this year.
The reigning American League MVP.
I think if he were to have a big second half, he could win the MVP again.
I agree. I don't think it would take much.
I mean, numbers wise, he's probably about where he was last year. Maybe off a little bit, but I mean, what we're talking about here is different shades of greatness, I guess.
Well, you're looking at a second place hitter hitting 23 home runs and striving in 63. I mean, that's usually a guy you're going to see hitting third, fourth, or fifth. So he's kind of setting the table for even as much power in the middle part of the order.
3-2 pitch is foul.
See, it's a high changeup, and while he hit the ball to the right side, he was on it to the point of at least recognizing the changeup. It's down there someplace, that baseball. It's rolling around someplace under the feet.
RBI leader since 2013. Donaldson is fourth. And that looked like a good pitch.
Wow. That's an MVP versus a rookie. Because there is nothing wrong with this pitch. Except that it fooled Donaldson. He threw his bat. Didn't hear the call. It's definitely on the plate. And it wasn't too low. This is the height.
Encarnacion.
I think that's a strike.
I think it is too. But you just gave all the numbers, and Stephen Vogt is letting Buck Wegner know. And you know, you just want fairness, I guess, is the bottom line. Man's
so
not
2
happy.
on 1 out. No, can't blame him.
And you know, there was a reason I think Carrera wasn't running, because John Gibbons had to be thinking that maybe, of course, he has Encarnacion. Didn't want to take the bat out of his hand with a strike him out, throw him out. But John Gibbons, a former catcher, a good manager, handles the bullpen, pitching staff very well. Got his cowboy boots in his office.
Sure.
He's ready to go.
Here's a strike, 1-1. Encarnacion, 80 RBIs, most in the American League. Ortiz is second with 72. Trumbo is third with 68. So you've got a pretty good lead on everybody else in that RBI category. Pitch, he lays off the breaking ball.
He is very still and started to swing, and of course the breaking ball to the dirt did not.
Carrera, Donaldson, another runner's good speed, and now it's 3-1. He breezed through the first inning with a couple of strikeouts, but a lot of pitches since then. That one fouled straight back. And Encarnacion was looking for a fastball, and he got it. It may have just been elevated enough to make it a little bit tougher pitch to get to. Those last two starts for Migden. He struggled some against the Pirates and the Astros. Another foul ball, just about the same spot. Jack Cuss jersey. This could be worth something. And he's the guy who caught it. Make Jack happy. Back on the East Coast, probably.
Learned his baseball school. Teaching hitting. Drop and drive.
Finish high.
Encarnacion seeing 2 fastballs, and he said, let me have some time to get settled in here in case I get another.
And he takes it low, and now the bases are loaded for Saunders. So trouble for Migden here in the 3rd.
Not too often that a hitter takes ball 4 and he's upset. Kurt Young's going to visit with his young pitcher.
Now batting.
So
number
60
21,
pitches now for Migden.
Michael Saunders.
And we talk about the hitters, maybe their timing is a little bit off, but also have to factor in with a 4-day break. Pitchers, it's been 7 days. Stephen Vogt telling Daniel Migden about pitching, and Kurt Young just said, let me just listen. I got a few seconds here before I have to leave, so go get him. Get a double play. I echo everything Stephen Vogt just said.
He's a smart man. And goes to the screen, and Carrera is going to come in to score, and this game's tied at 2. The big Migden breaking ball, Vogt just could not block it.
Well, it was a breaking ball, and Stephen Vogt has gotten a lot of work already in tonight's game. He's blocked 4. This one just took off a little bit too sharply to his right, could not handle it. So it takes away the double play. The infield has to come in.
Saunders reached on an error and scored in the 2nd inning. Good pitch there by Migden. Russell Martin is the on-deck hitter. Another good pitch. So he went off speed on the outside corner, and then a fastball on the outside corner.
He also can pitch him carefully because he is left-handed. First base is open. He'll take a chance with the right hand in the on-deck circle. So a lot of different things Migden and Vogt can do.
This one hit foul down the left field line. Chris Davis is going to have a play. He's got it. And trying to score is Donaldson. And Donaldson will score. So the Blue Jays score their 2nd run in this inning, and now it's 3-2 Toronto.
And this is why, as a runner, high fastball, it's a foul ball.
Now batting.
You need outs. It's only the 3rd
55,
inning, but Josh Donaldson
Russell
looking back to see if the throw was going to come in. It was, but a little bit late. But if you're a runner, ball's in foul territory, nothing else to do except go to the bag. And Encarnacion goes to 3rd. And you could say, well, if he let it drop, then Saunders could have driven in both of them.
So Vogt saves a run that time. Martin grounded out to 2nd in the 2nd inning. And that one is driven to right. That's hit well, but Reddick's going to get back. Stops, settles in, and he's got it side retired. So a couple of runs, a hit, a couple of walks, and the Blue Jays now lead 3-2. Ace Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Roaring Camp Railroads. Heritage sounds like something old, unless you're talking free heritage events at Roaring Camp. Loading up a sausage, why not? Good looking grill right there.
Yeah, there's
Friday
no
night eats at the Coliseum.
There's no grill that matches Fenway Park.
No.
Their grill there, you know, that 100-year-old grease, you know, it's been there forever. Speaking of the Red Sox, they picked up another pitcher.
Pretty good one.
While everybody was away at the All-Star break, Dave Dombrowski said, let's get Drew Palmer. So they got him.
He's an all-star.
Yeah. Got to enjoy his time in San Diego for the All-Star team, and then he gets on a plane and joins the Red Sox.
So Boston, under Dave Dombrowski, doing their thing. In fact, with all the rumors going around, that's just the way it is this time of year in baseball. Dave Dombrowski says, I got your rumors. I'm just going to start making deals. So they've picked up Aaron Hill, Brad Ziegler, and Drew Pomeranz in the span of really about 5 days.
And the trading deadline is not for 2 weeks. So he was not going to wait around.
Coco Chris strikes out, so 1 out here.
Follow Athletics Baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment, any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and your tablet. Gary Hughes, our good friend, longtime scout, is a scout for the Red Sox, and he is in town watching. I wonder who.
Smoke. It's a nice hop. So Lowry is retired. So 2 quick outs here in the 3rd.
It's called Careless Whisper. Is that it?
Yeah, wham.
And he's
Now
got it
batting
back.
right fielder, number 22, Josh Reddick.
Oh, that's beautiful.
What was your walk-up song?
I didn't have one. And it wouldn't have worked anyway.
Isn't that amazing? You get called to the big leagues, and the first question you have, what's your walk-up music?
Important stuff. Another strike, 0-2. So Stroman, a little bit of a rocky first inning, gave up a leadoff hit in the 2nd, trying to breeze through the 3rd.
Now Josh Reddick does this as well as anybody, where he recognizes the pitch right there and stops his swing. A breaking ball out of the strike zone. Goes the appeal to third base. No swing.
Reddick walked and scored in the 1st inning. Breaking ball hung a little bit. Reddick struggling some since coming off the disabled list, hitting just .205, 9 for 44. A couple of RBIs.
That's why players, everyday players, never want to see the DL, because it does take away everything they've gained leading up to that. And that's why Reddick called Bob Melvin and telling him, I need another day or two. And at that point, he thought it clicked in, but on a rehab assignment, skipper said, take whatever time you need. And he came back. But also facing pitchers midseason form when you do come back, regardless how much time you have at the rehab minor league play.
That one's belted right center and deep, and that baby's gone. Long home run for Reddick, and we're tied at 3.
Well, what a great check swing on the 0-2 curveball. Another curveball. A curveball fouled back. And Josh Reddick, home run number 6, the first since May the 19th. And what a swing on a breaking ball. 4 consecutive curveballs. This one elevated. Josh Reddick said, you keep throwing them, I'm going to hit it. And he crushed it. Great call, partner, because you recognized that immediately that it was going to be out. And it was without a problem.
So home run number 6 for Reddick.
And that's a big 2-out hit after Stroman had thrown just 4 pitches to get 2 outs. And then Josh Reddick, he probably saw the numbers that we showed, or he knew those numbers and said, I'll take care of those numbers for you. And he did with a big home run.
Tap to third, fair. Donaldson, tough play, and the runner's going to be safe. No.
What?
I feel like they initially called safe, Mike Malinsky, and then he called him out.
Well, I think it was the home plate umpire who called him safe, because he said his foot was off the bag, and then the home plate umpire overruled him.
Or did they say
that he tagged him?
That he tagged him. I think they did, Ray.
The home plate umpire.
Although his foot may have been on there, but
did he get him on the right elbow? And see, there
he got him on the
now he's saying he got
his shirt.
He caught him safe, and then he said he got him.
So there, he said that it was the tag, where Davis was out. So a very close play. Does not look like the A's would challenge. Reddick's home run, his 6th of the year, has tied this game at 3. Early going. Reddick with the home run. So the Blue Jays come to bat here in the top of the 4th. Tulowitzki, Smoke, and Pilon. First pitch to Tulowitzki is an overhand curve that is low.
Yeah, shut down in the big time. The cap, I think, as you said, between innings is correct, as first base umpire Mike Malinsky said he pulled his foot off the bag, but then realized at the same time he saw that he tagged him on the elbow.
Pretty good eyesight.
I was going to say from down to up that quickly.
Yeah, it was very close. And question was, did Smoke tag Davis? And if he did, he tagged him on the kind of the shirt sleeve, lower part of the white sleeve. But it wasn't a lot.
But I agree with you.
Simeon cannot quite get it.
But if the eyes were on the foot, how does he see the elbow being tagged? And that's why when he pointed, I thought he was pointing the home plate umpire. But so he's looking down now. He says safe, but then he says he got him on the shoulder. Now, how could he see all that at the same time? Besides, he had Davis blocking his view. That's the surprising thing too. But say it's safe because he foot off the bag. It's just strange, but no challenge by the Athletics, so Simpson was correct.
Migden back into the stretch. So 3 hits now for the Blue Jays. A couple of walks. There's been an error.
Well, the amazing thing, that right there, just 3 hits and I had 3 runs. Unearned run in the second with an error, but a couple of walks in the third.
Yeah, they've scored a run, they being the Blue Jays, a run on a ground out, a run on a sacrifice fly, and a run on a wild pitch. Generally the sign of a good offense.
Yeah.
Blue Jays are second in the league in runs scored. They're third in home runs. They're second in doubles. They're first in walks.
And a heads-up play by Josh Donaldson at third with the foul ball, and he scores. So that's 81 runs scored by Donaldson.
They're second in the league in on-base percentage. So, and listen, we're not throwing any secrets out there. They're a very good offensive team. They were last year when they were first in the major leagues in runs scored. 891 runs scored last year.
Now batting, number 11, Kevin Millar.
Struggled early, but no surprise. Since the 19th of May, they have come storming back. 32 and 17, averaging 5.5 runs per game.
You better be thinking about a bunt here.
That one bounces away from Vogt, and both the runners moving out.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about a bunt with that. Just a hard curveball again. I don't know if Stephen Vogt, maybe he didn't need to play in the All-Star game because he needed the 4 days, because he has had his work tonight.
There's a line drive, base hit left field, a smash. 1 run scores. Smoke will stop at third, and just like that, the Blue Jays have the lead right back. So 4-3 Toronto.
Well, right back. Boy, that was hit hard too. And you think if the first and second, I don't know if a run could have scored. The fact that a run was at third, he did score, but hit so hard right to Chris Davis.
So Pilar gets his 36th RBI. Still nobody out. That's the problem. And here's Travis. We've talked about this before, Ray, and the Blue Jays fit this example. It is a relentless lineup.
If they get down, it doesn't bother them, and they know that they have the power and the ability to score runs. And to your point about the number of runs they scored last year and doing it again this year, see, that's a Josh Donaldson pitch right there. That's a strike to Travis. But if you're scoring runs and you're finding a way to score runs, you don't get upset if you get down.
Travis had a base hit in the 3rd inning. A little bit off the plate, 1 and 2. .78 pitches for Migden, with nobody out in the 4th. And there's a base hit right field. Pilar is going to round second. He's going to try for third. Here comes Reddick's throw. It's cut off. Smoke comes in to score, and now it's 5-3.
You can see why they like Travis. That's a good 2-strike job of hitting. Ball to the right side, right field, solidly hit. A pitch was up, and that's what happens when you elevate pitches to major league hitters. You're going to get that result. And Reddick, a strong arm to hit the cutoff man. And Pilar, once he saw it drop with his speed, shows in the outfield, shows it running the bases.
So meeting at the mound, Liam Hendriks starts to throw in the A's bullpen. So top of the order, Ezekiel Carrera. He's batting for the 3rd time in 4 innings as the leadoff hitter.
Ezekiel Carrera.
He has struck out, reached on a fielder's choice, and scored a run. Changeup, and he's dribbled foul. Pilar at third, Travis at first, 2 runs in. Lakewood now jumps ahead 0-2. Donaldson waits in the on-deck circle. High-stress innings will wear down a pitcher, and Migden has now had 3 in a row. Very close.
Talk about the high stress innings for a pitcher, and for Stephen Vogt trying to get his pitcher through this, and it's where the veteran catcher just trying to do his best to help his pitcher, and that's why he had the conversation he did last inning before Kurt Young got to the mound.
Hit slowly left side. Simeon goes to first to get the out there. Pilar comes in to score, and it's now 6-3 Blue Jays. So give Carrera the RBI. He needed to put it in play, and he did.
Well, that's all he did, and really all the A's could do was get the 1 out. And that's the reason you like to see hitters or runners go from first to third as much as possible. Because of Pilar, they were able to get the extra run on the infield ball.
So 3 runs in, and here's Donaldson. Curve spins inside. Donaldson, a fly to left and a walk. Walkman scored in that 3rd inning. Good sinking life on that pitch, and it's on the inside corner for a strike. Line drive, right center field. That's a base hit. Travis will come in to score. Donaldson will stop at first with a single, and it's now 7-3. So Bob Melvin is making a trip that he was hoping he didn't have to make.
Now the opposite field hitting, and Josh Donaldson, one of the best, and he proved it on this fastball away. Got the leg kick, got the foot down, and base hit to right center.
So 3 1/3 for Migden. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Number 31, William.
Classic day on the green with fireworks show on Saturday, July the 23rd, presented by Lagunitas. That's a week from tomorrow night, the legendary concerts at the Coliseum feature the Rolling Stones, David Bowie, The Who, U2, Led Zeppelin, and many more. The fireworks show will be set to music from select Day on the Green performers, and fans can watch the show from the outfield grass. But as always, you know that on-field capacity is limited. Tickets today at athletics.com/fireworks. Talk to Michael Zagaris about all those performers here and how many he photographed. And he'll say all of them.
Oh, no question.
And more to come.
So Liam Hendriks comes in. So he'll try to slow things down.
Last 4 starts for Daniel Migden: 7 2/3, 5 1/3, 4 2/3, 3 1/3. And it's going the wrong direction.
So 6 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, and 87 pitches.
And 3 walks, and while 2 have scored, he also had another one to this man Encarnacion. He also walked Smoke in this inning and scored.
Hendriks facing some old teammates. A shot, juggled, but a nice play by Simeon, and that's going to be a double play. A smash off the bat of Encarnacion, but damage done by the Blue Jays. They score 4 times in the top of the 4th. Live at CSNCalifornia.com. Log on each week as our insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball with players, coaches, special guests, and more. This week, Joe's guest is fellow A's broadcaster Vince Cotroneo.
Wow.
The A's Insider Podcast with Joe Stiglitz on CSNCalifornia.com. It's also available on iTunes. So a chat with Vinny.
Wow. That's good. I like that. I know.
Have you been on?
No.
No, I haven't either.
You? No. Hey, Joe.
Maybe something we should talk to Joe.
Why are we promoting him then? If he hasn't asked us.
And Joe generally works on TV, right?
Yeah, thank you.
CSN.
And he's not asking you?
Comcast Sports Net.
California. Dresses nicely.
Maybe it's time to have a little chat.
Got to give him all those nice golf shirts. And
maybe he'll give us some inside information on why he hasn't asked us to be on. Now we're joking. If Vinny's on, it's probably going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Liner and a base hit for Vogt. So hit number 5 for the A's. Got the feeling of one of those games.
Yeah. Off speed, Stephen Vogt said thank you very much, and out in front, ripped it to right field. So Stephen, I mean, you put all that work behind the plate blocking balls.
He deserves a hit.
That's right. Got an RBI and a ground out. Let's hope it's one of those games. They just keep coming back.
First pitch to Semien is in for a strike. Semien was robbed of a hit and an RBI to end the first inning. Hit a drive toward right center that Kevin Pillar made a diving catch. To Stroman, he has not been sharp tonight. He's at 55 pitches already. Jumps ahead of Semien 1-2. Interesting year for Stroman. He's a very talented young man. He started out the season pretty decent, 4-0, ERA of 3.5, and then he had a 10-game stretch where his ERA was over 6. But then his last couple starts have been pretty good.
Wow, that's home plate umpire making that call.
And Marcus Semien can't believe it.
You know, and Marcus, we'll take a look and see, because Marcus does what Josh Reddick does. Watch the bat. See how he drags it through, but it keeps the bat head back towards the umpire.
That's not a swing.
That's not a swing, and that's what I'm saying, and that's why you can't make the call as a home plate umpire, because you see the body, and Josh Reddick does the same thing, and we showed it before he hit the home run, and Marcus Semien has done that his entire beginning of the season, and that is not a swing. And if Mark Wagner looks at the results of this game, then he'll realize he made the bad call.
Well, if the home plate umpire is going to make that call, which I agree with you, I think he should just go to the umpire.
Exactly.
But if he is going to make it, it has to be an obvious swing where the guy, he went around. That was not obvious. In fact, I don't think he did go around.
Well, how many times where we see the body go forward, and you watch the body, and you know that's just not something that an umpire should do. And every time the umpire defers to the first or third base umpire, it's the best thing he can do. Takes it out of his hands.
Oh God! If I was home plate umpire, I'd be looking down there every time.
That's right.
Base umpires, you make the call.
That's why Adrian Beltre does what he does. And always, he's the beginning, the first guy. Now Mike Trout does it. Other players will do it, because they know once the home plate umpire makes the call, there's no appeal to a corner umpire. Marcus gets robbed by Pillar with a great play, and now he gets robbed by a strike 3 call that wasn't.
One and two the count to Alonso. Smolinski waiting in the on-deck circle. Blocked by Martin.
Martin, an excellent catcher. He shows why on this one. He just uses his body. He's like a goalie. Of course, being Canadian, I guess there's a lot of good hockey players in Canada, huh? And he just proved it on that one that that's what you try to do. Be the goalie, you use your chest protector, and use your body to get in front of it. He did a great job blocking the ball.
A little bit low. 3-2. Vogt with a short lead. He's not going. And strike 3 called. And Alonso snaps his helmet off. And he is gone.
Well, Bob Melvin might get run also because he's seeing too much of this. Yeah, see, he threw him. I knew that was going to happen because he has watched this. He's watched it. And, you know, it's so obvious, it's unbelievable. And you know Donaldson's name is coming up in this as well. And it should. Well, this is what he called strike 3, and
that's a bad call.
That's a horrible call. And
it was low.
Well, definitely low. It had the plate, and that's even below your description when a guy strides in the kneecap. It's clearly below it.
So Yonder Alonso gone, as is the manager Bob Melvin. Can't blame either of them.
No, absolutely not.
So Mark Wegner kind of embarrassing himself behind the plate right now. Some of his calls.
Well, especially, like I said, and I emphasize if he does, because there is a record, basically. There's a video, DVD of the home plate because of the balls and strikes and all that. But you just hope they look at it, because you'd have to see that what he didn't call on one and called on the others. And you know, be consistent. And he's definitely not being consistent. Thing is, if Vogt had been running, would Russell Martin have thrown? Maybe he thought it was so clearly out of the strike zone and wasn't running. So Alonso justified, because it's sad to know the strike zone and then you get rung up.
Foul down the right field line. I just think it's funny too. The home plate umpire now, he's talking to Russell Martin. And you were a big league catcher. What's Russell Martin going to say? Yeah, you did miss that one. No, he's going to say it was a good pitch. Yeah,
good call.
You know what? It was a low strike, but a good pitch.
Yeah, you're doing a great job for our team.
I think you've been pretty consistent. I mean, what do you expect from the catcher?
Joke also when a hitter swings at a pitch and he says, was it a strike? He says, yeah, you swung.
And Mark Kotsay takes over. And that one called a strike. 2-2 the count.
I think it was Matt McBride. He says, I'm getting a chance to manage. And why are you coming up to me? I'm manager now.
Vogt led off the inning with a single before things got a little weird, and that one off the glove of Martin.
Way to call it a foul ball.
It just popped out of his glove.
Almost like it went through the webbing of his catcher's mitt, but it just missed, like you said, as he reached up and he closed and hit the webbing.
So 3-2. In scoring position. Chopped up the middle into center field, a base hit. And the pass ball could help the A's. It will help the A's as Vogt slides in to score to make it 7-4.
Now Bob Melvin showing confidence in Jake Smolinski, having him face a right-hander at center field. What does he do? Takes a 3-2 breaking ball that may be as high, but you never know with the strike zone being what it is. You go for it. Hits it up the middle. Stephen Vogt at second because the pass ball. And Pilar trying to throw him out, could not do it. So great job of hitting by Jake Smolinski. And Stephen Vogt, what is it? Don't fall asleep. Don't sleep on that
sleep on his feet.
You just showed it.
So here's Ryan Healy for his second big league at bat. Struck out swinging in the second. Healy batting in the ninth spot. And that one called the ball. Now Stroman trying to figure out what the heck's going on. That may be your next first baseman. Randy Valencia was told he is going to play some first base. And I think that may be where he's going. So 1-2 now to Healy.
Yeah, if a pitcher's accustomed to getting certain pitches and then all of a sudden doesn't, then you'll see, as Stroman did, looked into the umpire to home plate.
Fastball, 93 miles an hour. So now a 7-4 game. 7 runs, 6 hits for the Blue Jays, 4 runs, 6 hits for the A's.
And just the fourth inning.
Up the middle, Tulowitzki's going to get to this one, and he flips to Travis, side retired. A run on 2 hits for the A's. We're headed to the 5th inning. 7-4 Blue Jays.
On Sunday, July the 17th. That's coming up a week, actually, this Sunday when the A's take on these Toronto Blue Jays, make a fashion statement with the unmistakable green and gold tiger stripe Zubaz pattern. The special ticket includes a Zubaz performance t-shirt and game ticket. Go to athletics.com/Zubaz to purchase tickets today. That's Z-U-B-A-Z. Coming up Sunday, great weekend of promotions here at the Coliseum. Got the Hello Kitty decked out in catching gear tomorrow. And you put the Zubaz Palooza pants on top of the Hello Kitty.
That's
right. This was during the warm-ups.
Geez,
That
Steve.
kind of night. And the training staff came out to check on Stephen Vogt. Sat back for a little bit. But he seems to be okay. So Danny Valencia takes over at first base with Yonder Alonso being tossed out of the game. So Saunders, Martin, and Tulowitzki here in the 5th. It's 7-4 Toronto.
And Liam Hendriks' job is to put up some zeros the way the offense is coming back, both clubs. But if he can shut down the Blue Jays, give his club a chance to come back. And a couple of 2-out runs the last 2 innings for the A's with the Reddick home run. Of course, the Smolensky RBI base hit. Got to slow down the offense of the Blue Jays.
Yep. Pop-up foul. There's Hendricks with the Blue Jays before coming over in the trade, so he knows a lot of these guys.
I think Stephen Vogt got hit in the hand, the right hand.
Did that throw back to Hendricks?
You know,
is that where you got that?
you know, because I was watching the replay. We had the high home camera that was showing the back of Stephen, but looked like it was his hand that maybe took a beating as he was warming up the pitcher.
So 3-1 now.
Let's see exactly where he got it. Maybe a little bit of everything.
And Saunders takes high, and it's a leadoff walk.
What a night for Saunders, huh?
That's the 4th inning in a row that a leadoff man on for.
He's reached
Toronto.
on an error. He had a sacrifice fly ball to left field in foul territory, and now he's walked. And boy, you score some runs. The last thing you want to do is, you know, lead off walk.
So that'll bring up Russell Martin. And Martin hits one up the middle, and that's a base hit. So Blue Jays right back at it. A walk and a single, 2 on, nobody out here in the 5th. 7 hits now for Toronto.
Well, he throws a fastball this time, but Martin was not taking.
Now batting.
And Marcus Semien just shedding him a little bit too much to pull, and ball to his left, no chance to get to it.
Stephen Vogt running through a few signs. Tulowitzki steps in. RBI ground out in the 2nd. Singleton scored in the 4th. Hendricks last year with the Blue Jays was 5-0 in 58 games, all out of the bullpen. Started with the Twins, and then 2014 with the Blue Jays, and then went to the Royals for a short time, and then last year back to Toronto.
The A's need some innings, and Liam Hendriks is capable of doing it.
Astros and the Mariners opening up a series tonight in Seattle. Astros with a 6-1 lead in the 5th inning. It was Pfister and Paxton, the 2 starters for that game. Oh, blocks it, scrambles after it.
I don't know what to say about Stephen Vogt. Takes a beating during the game, and in between innings, take another beating.
Yeah, great. Now 2-1. Seven hits and 4 walks for the Blue Jays already in this game. And now it's 3-1.
Nothing will slow a game down more than walks.
It's true.
I mean, it just pitches thrown, number of pitches, and
all 9 batters have reached base tonight, some way, shape, or form, and it's only the 5th hit. So Hendricks has to be careful here. Swing and a miss. He came up and in. Tulowitzki was looking for a fastball. He got it.
And he knew he was going to be swinging hard, which he did. And fortunately, good location with an elevated fastball, a little bit extra on it.
So Saunders at second, Martin at first. They're being held on. They're not running, and the ball's hit high and foul. Well down the right field line.
He's got to be thinking that John Gibbons does not want his runners to move for maybe the sake of a strikeout throw him out with so much power up and down the lineup. Does not want to take the bat out of anybody's hands, and we have not seen anybody run tonight. There's been several 3-2 counts, but not once has a runner been on the move. Hayes did it. Helped him score a run.
Blue Jays only have 31 stolen bases on the year. That's 12th in the league. And that's just not something they do a lot, and they don't have to because of the other things they do. Walking, hitting the ball in the ballpark. Three-two pitch. Reddick over and back. Reddick has it. Saunders will tag from second, and he'll go to third. So Tulowitzki's retired. It is a productive out as the runners now at first and third.
Now batting, number 14.
And here's Justin Smoke.
Well, Liam Hendricks got a double play ground ball to end last inning. A hard hit ball by Encarnacion, but got the job done, and love to see one here. To get the A's back in the dugout and not allow one of these runs to score.
Swing and a miss. Smoke a single in the second, a walk and a run scored in the fourth.
And another changeup, the same pitch he hit the left field in his first at bat.
Big swing. 95 miles an hour on the fastball from Hendricks, a little elevated. Strikeout needed. Shift is on for Smoke on the infield. And he got the strikeout. High fastball. Smoke chased it.
That's a huge out, especially when you get the next one down, allowing a run to score. And start the inning first and second, nobody out. High fastball. And a little extra on a fastball from Liam Hendricks. He has a good heater. And he showed it on the 0-2, went upstairs with it. That's a huge strikeout.
Kevin Pillar.
So here's Kevin Pillar. He had an RBI single in the fourth inning. Maybe a little momentum shift if the A's can retire Pillar. in first strike. Pilar also hit a fly ball to right field. That was in the second inning. Angels leading the White Sox 2-0 in the 7th inning down in Anaheim. Gonzalez and Santiago, Hector Santiago, pitching well for the Angels tonight. Right there at the knees, 1-2.
Be careful. Don't call it too quickly. I mean, while it might look like a strike.
Looked good to me.
I agree with you.
Bounce to Lowry, who has it. He'll shuffle to second, side retired. So a couple of runners stranded. Bottom of the 5th coming up. It'll be Crisp, Lowry, and Reddick. 7-4 Blue Jays. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Teams to win consecutive division titles in the American League since 2010. Tigers won 4 in a row. A's won 2 in a row. Yankees 2 in a row. And the Rangers 2 in a row. And these Toronto Blue Jays are trying to do it this year. Last year they were 93-69, and they ended up 6 games ahead of the Yankees in the always tough AL East. So they made their first trip to postseason since 1993, 21 seasons. So they went for it last year, or they traded for Tulowitzki and David Price, and it got them to the postseason. That's why you do it.
And they lost one, David Price, for a big price, but they also kept Tulowitzki, who they knew they were going to have his contract, as you mentioned, in 2020. And why not? Star player, the National League, is bringing that experience to the American League and to Toronto.
And you know what else happens, Ray? Last year, 34,000 a game. Ooh. This year, 39,000 a game. There you go.
And they may take all those seats they blocked and covered and open them back up, because at one time they were drawing 4 million people a year. And yes, that's averaging over 50,000 per game. And they could do that back whenever the early 90s, whenever they were in back-to-back World Series.
Second baseman, number 8.
And they are in a dogfight with the Orioles and the Red Sox. Both the Orioles and the Red Sox won today. So right now, they're 2.5 games back. But looking at their schedule, Ray, they still have 6 games left with the Red Sox. They have 9 games left with the Baltimore Orioles.
And that's why there are a lot of scouts around looking at his A couple of scouts, they saw one with the Tigers, one with the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks doing some advanced scouting, but said everybody's looking for starting pitching because not a lot of clubs have them.
So that's the current standings with the Orioles and the Red Sox winning their game. The Yankees and the Rays lost. So Toronto right where they want to be. They've won 8 out of 9. That's the wild card. Blue Jays have the second spot. They're looking for more. Astros right there.
Josh Donaldson was with the A's in 14 when they had the wild card playing a game. I don't think he wants to do anything to do with those games. He just actually he already knew he was traded because he had put himself in his bedroom and just locked the doors and shut off all communication with the outside world. And because he was devastated as the ball by Perez went by him, he had no chance to field it. He still took it very hard. Andrew Triggs gets loose as Liam Hendricks, inning in 2/3, big double play ground ball his first inning, and Scott Emerson, Emo, of course, getting everybody ready in the bullpen. He's always ready.
Foul back. Count stays 2-2. Blue Jays won the division series over the Rangers. That was a crazy series.
An eighth inning you'll never see again,
No.
probably ever in baseball. Well, I would say that, but I mean, it's rare to see 3 consecutive errors by the Rangers defense in one inning, same inning.
Right there, strike 3 call. So now Lowry disagrees with Whitener.
You know, it's really taken away the A's feeling of knowing the strike zone. And it almost forces to swing at everything. And
I said right there, but you know what? I stand corrected. That one looked like it was low as well. We always look at where the ball crosses that front leg, front knee.
Yeah, it's in the middle of the plate, but I think the A's hitters, let's see, that's. And, you know, I could say he's consistent, but the one pitch to Josh Donaldson, 3-2, that was in the same location he's called all of these. He called it a ball. And I think that's what's the most disturbing to the manager in the dugout and the clubhouse, as well as Yonder Alonso have been ejected, that, you know, just want to be consistent. Now, if that one had been called a strike, maybe nothing's said following that.
2-1 now to Reddick, who's had a good ball game. Walked and scored in the first, homered in the third. First home run since coming back from the disabled list. Five strikeouts for Marcus Stroman. He has walked 1.
4 consecutive curveballs this at bat. He's seen a lot of fastballs, but this was the curveball that Josh took a couple low, fouled off one, and then got another one that he hit over the right center field wall because he forced Stroman to elevate the curveball because it was out of the strike zone. It was on a fastball.
And that's a hit.
Looks like Reddick knows every pitch that's coming. And I think we found a new walk-up music for him to start the second half.
For a while, anyway.
Yeah, at least. On base 3 times, walk, home run, and this 3-2 base hit. Stayed back, pulled the hands in, and hit a bullet to right field. That's a good swing again by Josh Reddick.
So 7 hits now for the A's. Both teams with 7 hits. There's Chris Davis. Pitch strike to Davis.
As hard as Chris Davis hits the ball, and he's had a little bit of a home run drought, he could make it a one-run game very quickly. Sitting on 19 home runs.
And that one's hit to right center. It's hit well. Carrera's going back. Pilar's going back, and that baby's gone. So just like that, it's 7-6.
Nice going, Chris Davis. Josh Reddick with a 2-out hit again. And Chris Davis, an opposite field home run. June the 28th, his last one. First one in July, and a bullet up the middle for a ribby, and he just hit an opposite field 2-run home run. So maybe the 4-day All-Star break for Chris Davis helped the left shoulder because he crushed the ball to right center, and it is a 1-run game.
So Chris Davis now has 58 RBIs. Chavez starts to throw. Vogt got a high fastball.
I think there are a few players in the American League watching this. A breaking ball on Chris Davis. While I was a hanger, I bet there's not a lot of pitchers thinking I can hang a ball. The guy's going to go oppo on me. And Chris Davis did it without any problem over the right center field wall. So in the last 3 innings, the A's have scored all the runs with 2 outs. The home run, and a salute to Ron Washington. That's been a little while for that to happen, but great seeing Chris Davis get number 20.
And Vogt belts one right center. That's hit well. Pillar's back, and that baby's gone. 7-7 in the 5th.
John Gibbons out of the dugout after Stephen Vogt follows Chris Davis 4th time this year. The A's have gone back-to-back, and Stephen Vogt said, yeah. How about that? Do you believe in Stephen Vogt? John Gibbons, the slow walk. Mark Kotsay managing, and the skipper, Bob Melvin, ecstatic, even though he's not on the bench.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Here to tie it, and this was the hit that tied it.
Well, elevated again. Kev, you talked about the mistakes up in the zone, and there's another one. Chris Davis opposite field. Stephen Vogt. The ball just kept traveling, and over the Xfinity sign, and that would tie the game. I think Stephen Vogt's a little bit pumped up. Right, he's going, wow, this is fun, man.
So here's Simeon to face the new pitcher, former A. Jesse Chavez.
He went 3 innings recently, and Jesse said it's been a while since that's happened. He may get another opportunity tonight. Just the 5th inning. Talk about a back-and-forth game.
Numbers for Chavez, all his appearances out of the bullpen. 0-2 with a 3.41 ERA. So game number 34. A tough start for Marcus Stroman. His ERA is going to climb up over 5. toward Ron Washington.
He made an error. He worked too much before the game.
Well, John Axford gets up. Inside corner, strike 3 called. Side retired, but Chris Davis with a 2-out 2-run homer. And then Stephen Vogt followed it up with a solo shot. So just like that, we're tied 7-7 after 5.
Second annual Play Ball 5K on Sunday, July the 17th. The race starts on the field at the Coliseum, finishes with a post-race celebration in the parking lot. All participants receive a technical race t-shirt, a ticket to the game, and a complimentary parking. It's great. With a portion of proceeds benefiting the A's Community Fund. Run to athletics.com/playball5K to register. July 17th, that's Sunday.
Yep.
It just seems like it was just April 17th.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts, as John Axford comes in for his 40th appearance this year.
And pitching very well lately, and he hopes to continue tonight following Liam Hendriks, who did an exceptional job, especially last inning. As last inning, he had runners at first and second, nobody out, first and third, 1 out, got a big strikeout and smoke, and a ground out to not allow a run to score, keep it at 7 runs, and did a very good job. And now it's tied again, so keep it that way, at least until the A's come up.
2-0 to Devin Travis, 3-0 to Travis. Carrera to follow, and then Donaldson. Not close. A 4-pitch walk, which is about the last thing you want after your team has come back to tie. So that's 5 walks tonight by A's pitchers. And Devin Travis out of the 9th spot. 2 singles, a walk, a run scored, and an RBI.
You'd like to see the excitement of tying a game carry over to the next half inning, still at least tied, without having to.
It's a good idea by you.
Exactly.
Not close.
And there's an adjustment up and out of the strike zone. So 4 down low, way low, and now 1 too high. And the scary thing here is that you try to throw a strike and hitter's going to be ambushing.
Yep. Carrera has been on base one time. Fielder's choice. He scored. He also drove in a run in the 4th. Grounded. Axford finds the strike zone to correct.
A shot at Kurt Young and Mark Kotze, the bench coach, now manager, with the skipper Bob Melvin ejected. But this is not a stadium that's conducive to having a manager stand behind the dugout. You know, most, or a lot of stadiums you see where the manager could actually go down the tunnel, still remain somewhat close to the action. But here,
there's technically not a tunnel.
No, there is, but it's way past the diamond level, so it's kind of very hard. So that's the tunnel, the only tunnel underneath the stands and then the diamond level. But it just makes it hard. And you can just think of all the other stadiums where the manager could just stand down behind the steps or just behind, and while he's not able to be visible, at least he can still direct everything. So we do not know what Bob Melvin is able to do, perhaps from his office or the clubhouse.
Travis has good speed at first.
But this is a time you want to have an excellent pitching coach. If you're managing, as Kurt Young is in that category and sitting beside Mark Kotze.
Slowly towards second. Lowry flips to second, out there on to first, not in time. So well, Travis is off the bases.
Great footwork by Marcus Semien and a great play by Jed Lowry getting the lead runner, but Semien dragging his foot across the bag. I mean, an illusion, almost looked like he didn't touch the bag, but you can see him as he comes across. Watch the right foot just kind of scrape the bag to get out of the way of the hard slide. Hey, he went past the bag too. There's a double play on that. But Marcus got out of the way and a late slide by Travis. And I say that because the rule is you're not able or supposed to slide past the bag.
So now with the runner at first and one out, here's Donaldson. Donaldson takes a high strike. And on base a couple times, knocked in a run in the 4th. He has 64 RBIs.
I always wonder if Josh Donaldson would have been as good as he's been as a third baseman if he remained a catcher. Because of Scott Sizemore's injury at third base, Donaldson took over, and we have seen the results.
High fastball 1-2. Probably not.
I would say not. But he's a good hitter, and this time he was not going for a single to right center. That was a home run swing if there ever was one.
And he got him.
You can hear the foul tip held on by Stephen Vogt, and big swing, no results, but the result is John Axford. What a comeback so far. This pitch running down and in. Stephen Vogt with the hard sinker down and in, and held on by Stephen Vogt for strike 3. Donaldson immediately looking back to see if he held on, because he knew he foul tipped it, and he did. Good bat flip by Josh Donaldson. Nice catch. Choreographed nicely.
Here's Encarnacion. He swings and misses. Pitch similar to the one that Donaldson missed.
Well, sometimes just a little visit by catcher. 5 consecutive pitches not close. Stephen Vogt went out to pay a little visit, maybe to calm down his veteran pitcher, and since then he's been able to get outs and throw strikes.
Encarnacion just gets out of the way.
Swing hard at that one. Well, they do swing hard, they being the Blue Jays hitters. They do not get cheated.
Hard slider, 2-1. Encarnacion struck out, walked, and hit into a double play. Runner goes, and it's fouled straight back. So Carrera on the move.
And Encarnacion had a pitch that he thought, forget about letting the guy try to steal. It's like they want to try to go inside hard with the pitches to Encarnacion, even though the swing slightly open stance, but they've been pounding him inside.
And a smash foul.
Scotty been an error earlier, but he's back to form, so it's a nice play. He did boot one. Felt badly, but he recovered nicely.
Bounce back. So again, 2-2 the count. Carrera not going, and it just missed off the plate. Axford liked it. So a full count to the powerful Edwin Encarnacion.
This ran just a little bit off the plate.
Carrera will definitely be running here. Valencia playing just a little bit behind him. Swing and a miss, a high hard one. So a couple of strikeouts for Axford, and we're headed to the bottom of the 6th. It's a 7-7 game. McDonald's, July 22nd of last year. Last time the Blue Jays were here, Ike Davis, the walk-off single in the 10th inning. Took a little while. The umpires reviewed it, and he was safe, and the A's won that game by a final score of 4-3. So kind of a different version of the walk-off. Had to wait on it for a little bit.
Michael Zaguerre's taking a picture of Ike Davis.
Yeah, all the heroes in the shot.
But the memorable thing about that is Danny Valencia gets his first at bat in this game. Valencia replaced Alonso, and ever since Alonso in that inning, it was a Smolinski base hit, 3 runs the next inning, back-to-back home runs, and Alonso and the skipper Bob Melvin ejected. But remember that game, Osuna, the pitcher, threw 2 95-mile-an-hour fastballs, and Ike Davis hit him over the third base dugout, yet Reyes was playing him to pull with a shift, and he had to dive back to his right. And I don't think there's anybody in the world thought that Ike Davis was going to pull his fastball, and he did.
So Zepchinski starts to throw for the A's. It'll be Valencia, Smolinski, and Healy here in the bottom of the 6th. He's once trailed 7-3.
And Daniel Mingden, who gave up those 6 earned, is off the hook. No decision.
Valencia lines one to right field, and he's got a base hit.
Well, fastball up, and Danny Valencia at his best when he does that, and we've seen it more and more. And why not? A lot of hits to right field, and he has proven that.
So here's Smolinski. So the A's have their leadoff man aboard. Swing and a miss. Smolinski has hit into a double play, and he has an RBI base hit. That was in the 4th, 2-out RBI hit. Short lead for Valencia at first. Bounce past Ron Washington. Matt McBride makes fan for life. Setting up inside. Swing and a miss, struck him out 91 miles an hour. One thing we learned from Jesse Chavez, he's always had pretty good movement on his pitches.
Yeah, Russell Martin set up inside and throw it really kind of towards the middle of the plate. And
Now batting third baseman, 48.
Jesse's a free agent after this season, and one of the reasons traded, but got Liam Hendricks a little bit more under control. But Jesse Chavez, an excellent pitcher.
Healy had a good rip that time. The Blue Jays have a whole host of free agents. Big money free agents. Of course, Encarnacion and Batista, the big two. R.A. Dickey and his $12 million a year. He's a free agent. You add up all their free agents, and they got a whole bunch of money coming off the books. Toward third, Donaldson will fire to second out there on the first double play. 5-4-3 double play off the bat of Ryan Healy, and the A's do not score in the 6th. 7th inning coming up.
Day, supported in part by Dexon, Dryers Ice Cream, Whole Foods Market, and Zevia. Set for Tuesday, July the 19th. That's next Tuesday, with proceeds again benefiting JDRF. Among this year's guest scoopers are A's outfielder Sam Fuld and Alexi Melvin, who both have type 1 diabetes, along with other A's players, coaches, and local celebrities. Fans in attendance will be served refreshing root beer floats for $3 each. Sugar-free floats will be available. Admission is free. The game ticket. I like those Orange Crush floats. Probably one of the best. Okay, I know you're a celebrity. I'll have you scoop one for me.
Okay.
All right.
I will do that.
Orange Crush float. Maybe they'll bring them up here before so we can promote them.
Probably Monday night. They usually do that for us. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. So here is the lefty Zebczynski. Saunders, Martin, and Tulowitzki to hit for the Blue Jays in the top of the 7th. 7-7 game. So Zebczynski is the 4th pitcher of the night for the A's.
And get a chance for all the relievers to get an opportunity to come in and do something special tonight. Axford a great job following Hendricks, and now Zebczynski. Let's kind of keep the line running. John Gibbons doing the same, it seems, with his bullpen, as he's got a lefty loosening.
Good breaking ball to Saunders, the cleanup hitter. That's Brett Cecil starting to throw. Big, tall left-hander. Saunders is 0 for 1. Reached on an error and scored. Got a sacrifice fly, and he has a walk. And runs inside. Zebczynski, he throws that pitch. It almost has a little screwball action to it.
Exactly.
I'm not sure that he's throwing it like that, but it just kind of moves in to left-handed hitters. Doesn't throw it a lot.
Maybe a slider coming on 3-2. Stephen Vogt quickly gave the sign, so quick that Saunders stepped out.
Breaking ball on 3-2, and he missed. Leadoff man on again.
That's pretty good at bat, because as hard as he threw a slider, you figure the hitter's going to be sitting fastball, and Saunders took it, and it happened to be a little bit off the plate.
So that is 6 consecutive innings that the Blue Jays have had their leadoff runner aboard. Leadoff man has scored a couple of times. And with this meeting, there's action just starting in the A's bullpen.
Ryan Dull's ready.
Doesn't take long.
Phil Pohl has to throw them back harder and quicker than Ryan Dull. Otherwise, Phil, he's rapid fire. He said he wants to get ready. So when Emo gets the call from the dugout, he puts his hat up, because Ryan Dull does not take long.
Pitch to Russell Martin is outside. So Saunders runs pretty well for a big guy. And Martin towards center, but Smolinski gets back there quickly into left center. And Saunders has to hustle back. So 1 away for Tulowitzki.
Now batting, number 2, Troy Tulowitzki.
Tulowitzki 1 for 3 tonight with a single, an RBI, and a run scored.
Stephen Vogt looking at the dugout, put up one finger, almost as if he's going to buy some time. We'll see if I mean, it doesn't need much time for Dull because he is ready. It's just a question of whether he's going to make the move, which he is. Ryan Dull.
So Tulowitzki coming up, then Smoke, a switch hitter. So Sobczynski is done. Dull coming in. We'll be back.
SN California is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
So 7-7 game here in the top of the 7th inning. Ryan Dull comes in to face Troy Tulowitzki. This should be a fun matchup. 41st appearance for Dull, 2-2 with a 2.01 ERA. There's 24 hits allowed in 44 innings. First pitch to Tulowitzki is popped up shallow left. Davis coming in, Simeon out. And Davis grabs it. So on the first pitch, Tulowitzki is retired.
Maybe just enough of a little movement, a little cut on the fastball to Tulowitzki, who got under the ball. Upset with the pitch that he probably thought he should have done a little bit more with it.
14,
the hitter gets under a ball like that, they usually feel they just missed it, and when you think about it, for the next 8 batters anyway.
So 2 outs for Smoke. Smoke takes a fastball just a bit high. Baseball loose out in right field at Redding. Tracked down, gets it from the bullpen. There's the inherited runners. No, 36 for 38 for Dull. Changeup and a good one.
I think Bob Melvin said it best in Houston. He said, I did not like to see the streak end, but wanted to get a win, and he was willing to sacrifice, and it was a tough situation for Dull, and A's did get the win.
Close pitch. Outside.
Sometimes you wonder how guys don't swing at pitches, and especially with the shift, a pitch outside for Smoke to try to go to the opposite way.
Smoke has single walked and struck out. Scored a run in the 4th. Blue Jays scored 4 times in the 4th. Takes low, now 3-1. Pilar is your on-deck hitter. Astros still leading the Mariners. It's now 7-3 in the 8th inning. And the Angels shutting out the White Sox 7-0 in the 8th. a strike. So now full count, and that will get Saunders, who led off the inning with a walk. He will be on the move. Valencia lets Dull know that he's going to play behind him.
Throw a good changeup for a strike. Don't know, maybe just a fastball go after him on 3-2. He does. He's got a good enough fastball. No reason to mess around.
Shift is on for Smoke. And that one is called the ball.
Had to be outside. Well, Stephen Vogt set up right there. And
Number 11, Kevin Pillar.
man. You know, umpires allowed a full width of the baseball, outside and inside.
So 7 walks now by A's pitchers, and here's Pillar. Pillar pulled off that one, swings and misses. Saunders at second, Smoke at first. Pillar knocked in a run in the 4th inning. Davis backs up, still backing up, and he's got it side retired. So a couple of runners stranded for the Blue Jays. 7th inning stretch time coming up. It's a 7-7 game.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Hey, we got in-depth sports news for the Bay Area fan. It's Sportsnet Central, brought to you by Hyundai. It's tonight at 10:30 on our sister station, CSN Bay Area. All the A's clubhouse reaction, new Warriors arena developments, and a key 49ers player suspended. Dave Feldman and Amit Farid will host. Good ball game tonight, a little crazy.
0-5 with an ERA over 5 in the opposition.
As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and the A's will have their leadoff man aboard. And they will face a new pitcher. It's the big left-hander Brett Cecil.
The former starter, now reliever for John Gibbons. Cecil, of course.
Coco goes after the first pitch and lines it right at Michael Saunders. So well struck ball.
Cecil, full complement of pitches. Of course, being a starter, used all of his pitches. He does have a cutter long with a fastball. And his curveball and changeup. 28th game. I mean, 22nd game that is for the number 27 of the Blue Jays.
He's another one of those guys, Ray, that'll be a free agent for the Blue Jays, and he's been a workhorse out of their bullpen for a long time.
And it's always nice to know as a pitcher you can start or relieve. And of course, he's done both. Nice lefty to come out of the bullpen because it does not take him long to get loose. Plus, he has different pitches that he can use in a game. Infield with a slight pull set up for Jed Lowrie with the outfield shading him to right field.
Strike call, 1-1 the count. He was an all-star in 2013. Another strike, and the count is 1-2 to Lowrie, who's 1 for 3. Single ground out and a strikeout.
Well, the lefty coming in turns the two switch hitters around the bat right-handed, although Coco hit the ball hard. Jed Lowrie batting from the right side with Reddick in the on-deck circle.
And that one on the outside corner, strike 3 call. The A's have struck out 8 times tonight.
Well, you have to wonder. Jed right down the middle, and he knew it. No question about this one.
Josh Reddick.
All right. Wham is back. Reddick takes down and away. Big night for Josh Reddick. A walk, a homer, a single. He has scored 3 times. Swing there.
Got back home over the All-Star break. Maybe the home cooking has worked out well for him because he has come back to start the second half with a perfect night so far.
It's that hard slider from Cecil.
We haven't seen Josh hit a ball to left field yet, so maybe that's something for him to do with 2 outs in this inning, although the A's have scored their last 5 with 2 outs. And the first one started with a 2-out home run by Josh Reddick in the 3rd.
Pitch in there, first strike, 90 miles an hour from Cecil.
Had to be thinking slider. Might get it now. Chris Davis, home run opposite field.
And a close pitch, called the ball, and Reddick has a 2-out walk. So maybe another 2-out rally.
Left fielder, number 2, Chris Davis.
Good night for Chris Davis. He's knocked in 3, 2 of them coming on the home run. His 20th of the year.
And Travis tried to field his ball in the 1st inning. He was playing back. Just think how it would have been if he had been playing in. This is the home run opposite field against Stroman, a breaking ball to Hanger. Took it easily to right center. Stroman couldn't believe it.
There's a line drive base hit left field. So a walk and a single with 2 outs, and here comes Vogt. So the breakdown for home runs and where they're landing for Chris Davis. A lot of them to the middle of the field.
That's right. That's power.
Now batting, the catcher, number 21.
And of course, if you need any information, Josh Hood will pull it up for you. Come on. Good, he's got it all. Chris Davis, boy, middle part of the lineup has been doing tremendously well tonight. Reddick, Davis, Vogt. Smolinski with an RBI single with 2 outs, and the A's will try to do it again with 2 outs.
So lefty on lefty, first pitch to Vogt, and a hard slider. Steven chased it. RBI ground out single and then the home run for Vogt. So he is 2 for 3.
Giving him a lot on the left side. Tulowitzki shading close to second base and a huge hole to the shortstop position. Stephen Vogt has guided a few that direction. Did it in Houston. This is what he did back-to-back against Marcus Stroman. Stephen Vogt crushed it to right center. And the All-Star showed a lot of life in a dugout. That's a beautiful thing to see.
Reddick takes off and the ball's fouled straight back.
Well, you see it at times where, well, Donaldson wasn't covering third, but with 2 outs, not much attention is paid to the base runners. And Reddick noticed it, took off, but Stephen Vogt also had a pretty good pitch to hit. And remember, Tony Russo would always say to the third baseman, don't cover, don't vacate your position, and Donaldson did not.
Base hit center field. Here comes Reddick. Here comes Pillar-Stroh to the plate. It's there, and he is out. Wow. On a very, very close play at the plate, Pillar made a perfect throw.
You're going to take a look at it, and why not? Russell Martin catching the ball, and oh, wow. I might take a look at that one.
There they are.
And I don't blame him, because watch the foot and the tag. Foot's on the plate. And they are going to take a look at it. And the hook slide, the key is Martin had to reach for the ball and go back and tag. And that shot there, and a great shot, guys, because that looked like the foot got on the plate. And if it toes there, and Mark Wegner made the call, but
the previous play is under review.
It sure looked like his foot got there.
It looked like the toe was on the edge of the plate before the tag was applied, and the tag was applied. And the fact also that Martin couldn't stay on the plate, he went after it, had to come back. Well, and see, you know, Wagner might have blocked himself with Russell Martin. The way he moved around, he didn't need to move, and he did to make the call. And I think by moving, kind of blocked himself with Russell Martin applying the tag. The entire Blue Jays team in front of their dugout. Now there's the best angle right there, because if the foot's on the plate, by the time he tagged him, he's maybe across the plate or halfway.
Well, it sure looked like the foot was there before the tag was put on.
And New York's had plenty of angles to look at it. And Martin has given that indication that he doesn't think he got it. If you could read his lips.
Well, that last replay too, you want to make sure that Reddick's foot stayed down across the bag, and it certainly looks like it does.
It just dragged straight across. You're right. But you see how Wagner kind of circled around, and with Martin coming from in front of the plate back, as Wagner was going around to the side, it looked like he might have been blocked a little bit. Let's see, look at the umpire. See how he moves? And then here comes Martin. Say, hey, can he really see over the top of Russell Martin? That's a great shot there to see the umpire moving at the same time Russell Martin was. Got a lot of people standing around.
Looks like an easier call than it's why it's taken so long.
Safe.
He's safe. So the A's take the lead at 8-7 as the call is overturned.
And you know what I think Russell Martin might have been indicating when he was down and that is if he stands on the plate and lets the ball come to him instead of reaching out to get it and then coming back. It's like an infielder at second base going to get a play or a ball, and then having to bring it back.
There's the replay review summary through the All-Star break. 404 overturned calls. How can you argue against instant replay when there's over 400 calls overturned?
You know, I agree.
I mean,
there's a call right there.
So we got a pitching change. As Cecil is out, and the A's have taken the lead here in the 7th. Pilar made a terrific throw to the plate, but call was reversed, and the A's have taken the lead.
Sixth game for this right-hander, and you know the best part about the play, of course, for the A's having it overturned, scoring a run, but both runners advanced second to third, and so another big hit here. The A's could possibly score 2 more. So another 2-out run scored in this inning. A walk, a base hit, a base hit. The A's have taken the lead. What a great game of baseball it is.
First pitch is high to Semien. Semien's 0 for 3. Bo Schultz. Left field, but in the ballpark as Saunders, a couple steps from the warning track, grabs it, side retired. Another big hit for Stephen Vogt, and he's going to run. It's now 8-7 after 7.
Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you have come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Dahl stays out there for the top of the 8th inning. It'll be Travis, Carrera, and Donaldson.
He's trying to get Travis out. 3 at-bats, on base 3 times.
2 singles and a walk for Travis. He's also scored a run and knocked in a run. Travis hitting out of the 9th spot for the Jays. Hughes that one off the end of the bat.
Mason Gurley, the veteran, out of the Jays bullpen.
Early season trade, Jason Gurley. The slider, but Travis takes it.
Well, the bullpen of the A's has been spectacular. Daniel Mingden just 3 1/3 innings, but Hendrick, Zaxford, Tepczynski, and now Dahl trying to keep it going.
2 pitch, swing and a miss. High fastball, and Travis strikes out.
Now, if you look at Daniel Mingden's last 2 starts, the one in Houston, the A's scored the 5 runs in the 9th inning. In this game, at least down 7-3. They have come back to take the lead. Good fastball elevated by Ryan Dahl, and
Now batting,
no chance for Travis to catch up to a very good high fastball.
So 1 out. Here's the leadoff man, Carrera. Cubs beat the Rangers today. Good series at Wrigley Field. 6-0 was the final. Well, the Rangers scuffling a little bit. They've lost 10 out of 13. And Astros are winning 7-3 in the 9th. If Astros win that game, that Ranger lead will be down to 4.5. So there's the West.
You think what the A's could have done over the weekend in Houston, a 4-game series, they could have won all 4. Especially coming back the way they did in the Friday game, only to see the Astros score and win it.
Angels shut out the White Sox 7-0. 7 good innings for Santiago. The 2-1 pitch, missed outside, 3-1.
Dahl has already walked his 1 batter, so he kept the streak alive for everybody, and don't need another one.
Pours that one in there. 3-2 now. A big hitter to get with Donaldson in the on deck circle.
How about that take? I mean, that's what hitters. You down a run, you got your power coming up, and Carrera took a fastball down the middle.
Lofts this one in the air into the seats. Well, you like to see a hitter do that. It kind of tells you he's got an idea what to do.
And he's not afraid to get to 2 strikes, and that does say a lot, because the old theory about if you're down, you don't be swinging wildly, you just need base runners.
Dahl missed up and away. So give Carrera some props that time. So 8 walks now by A's pitchers, and I got 2 of them scoring.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful.
Well, and the biggest thing for the slider throw by Ryan Dahl, he's got to start it middle of the plate away, and don't take a chance on leaving one in the inner half of the plate by the always aggressive Josh Donaldson. And they are shifting him to the left side. This is one guy that you would give him a single instead of hanging one, because he is so aggressive swinging.
Smash picked nicely by Healy, and that's a double play. So 5-4-3 double play, a smash off the bat of Donaldson, but a very nice play by Healy. And that's how the top of the 8th ends. Worth another look. Bottom of the 8th coming up. 8-7 A's lead. Game semi brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 7-7-0 for the Blue Jays, 8-12-1 for the Athletics as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Chris Davis with a big home run and Stephen Vogt with a big night. 3 hits, 3 RBIs, including a home run. So the A's were once down 7-3. They're now up 8-7.
But again at the hot corner, that was a hot shot, but fielded nicely by Healy. And a tailor-made 5-4-3 double play. And well, I think the A's are happy that Donalds hit that hanging slider towards the third baseman and got the job done.
So Valencia leading it off. And Valencia drills one to right center, and Pilar made it look easy.
Healy at third, a short hop, and nice move to his left. And he is a tall third baseman, of course. I don't know, just looking at him, I think of several players who have the height, the size, and but he is handling it very nicely at third base.
So the A's closer Ryan Matson starts to get loose. So Smolensky is 1 for 3. And an RBI single in the 4th inning. In the 9th inning, it'll be Encarnacion, Saunders, and Martin, the first 3 hitters. Bo Schultz is the 4th pitcher for the Blue Jays. That time, pitch on the outside corner gets called a strike. Malinsky starting in center field tonight. The 3-1 pitch is outside, and Smolensky takes the walk.
Well, if there's ever a night to have your bullpen do a good job, the A's have done it. 20 losses for the Jays bullpen. Most in the American League. 12 blown saves, 4+ ERA. But really the bullpen's just given up 1 of the 8 runs tonight. It was their starter that gave up the 7. And that look of surprise whenever A's hit back-to-back home runs to make it a tie game.
It's an interesting note because the Blue Jays starting pitching has been very good. Blue Jays have the most quality starts in all of baseball, but the bullpen just a little shaky at times. Maybe that's why they're talking about putting Aaron Sanchez in the bullpen.
That's right.
Just inside to Ryan Healy. Sanchez, the all-star. He's been terrific this year as a starter, but was very good as a reliever last year. It is possible they may put him back in the bullpen. I think if they went out and got a starter at the trade deadline, they may do that. Healy, upright stance. Pitch running in on him, 97 miles an hour from Bo Schultz. Healy in his major league debut has struck out, grounded out, and hit into a double play.
The ball running in, brought his hands in, and you could just imagine that big swing resulting in a long one. They're hoping for first hit. They've watched him play outstanding defense.
Donaldson charges. He'll go to second out there, and the ball is dropped, kind of popped out of the hand of Travis when he was going to make the throw. So Smolinski will be out at second.
John Gibbons going to wonder if he slid past the bag, because he's going to come out and talk to second base umpire. It looked like he hit the bag and stopped. And as Travis is going to try to throw, he dropped the ball. See if he does overslide, although the A's had a runner slide into Smolinski or into Simeon, and he came up intentionally almost to stay on the bag, and Travis just dropped the ball. He just missed or let the ball go, and Smolinski did not slide past the bag. Remember, John Gibbons had his team lose a game in St. Petersburg against the Rays when Bautista went into second base and grabbed the leg.
Yeah, well, I think he may be arguing about the pop-up slide. I mean, that's part of the thing too.
But he stayed on the bag. I think when you slide past, that's the new rule, that you can't go past the bag. But I don't think in looking at this that it had anything to do with Travis dropping the ball. He caught it, and the transfer just dropped it. Now they're going to take a look at it to see if, or maybe no, the two umpires are coming in to discuss it further.
Well, they're going to look at something. Not sure exactly what it is, but
the previous play is under review.
so has to have something to do with that slide.
Yeah. Now the key, does he go past the bag? He hit the bag. The right foot came under, the left foot did, and that's probably what they're looking at. The left foot brought back. The left foot.
So the call stays with Smolinski being out at second, and obviously Healy safe at first.
Didn't Paul Limmer call him out initially? That was a crew chief challenge, not a, according to Mike Selleck.
So with 2 outs, Coco Chris steps up.
For Coco Chris.
Chris looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 4. Takes a first pitch strike. Ryan Healy is on base for the first time as a big leaguer. Gets to run around a little bit. Schultz throwing hard. 96 miles an hour.
Yeah, he's got a good fastball, and he continues to show it, especially with that little bit of a wrap that he has when he delivers the ball.
Going upstairs again. Ball's grounded toward first. Smoke, couple steps to his right, grabs it, steps on the bag. And that will do it for the A's in the bottom of the 8th. 9th inning coming up. Madsen will try to save it. 8-7 A's lead. So Ryan Madsen taking over here in the top of the 9th inning. So he's facing Encarnacion, Saunders, and Martin. And 3 very good hitters. Madsen 17 saves. Missed again, 2-0. Tyler Ladendorf is now the second baseman for the A's. Pitch is high, and now it's 3-0. Encarnacion is 0 for 3. He walked back in the 3rd. 23 home runs. Catches the outside corner for a strike. Toward 3rd. Healy backs up. He's got it. Long throw, and it's right there. And Encarnacion is out.
Down there for the 4 to right choice, and Healy's made some great defensive plays, but we're going back-to-back home runs. Chris Davis, opposite field on a breaking ball from Stroman, and that's a little salute to Ron Washington. And the next batter, Stephen Vogt, backed him up. 4th time this year the A's have gone back-to-back. Stephen Vogt getting a little excited, All-Star, and he was pumped up, and that would tie the game at 7. And all the shots he took off his body tonight hit a home run to tie it. Chris Davis made it the 1-run game. And Ryan Madsen trying to finish a great bullpen effort with this 9th inning tonight.
Saunders swings at the first pitch. 4-3 on the putout, 2 away. So the Blue Jays down to their final out. Post-game live coming up after the game, including the A-Team, which we bring you every Friday night home game.
Straight up defense all around for Russell Martin.
And his first pitch just a touch low. Martin, 1 for 4. He had a single in the 5th. Bounce towards short. This should do it, and it will. Wow. So a quiet 9th inning for Ryan Madson, and a very nice come-from-behind win for the Athletics to open up this second half of the season. A's were down 7-3. They come back, and they win it 8-7. So Chris Davis, a big night. Stephen Vogt, a big night. Josh Reddick, a big night. A good start for the Athletics. Really, tonight, I think initially you're going to think about the offensive heroes, but let's not forget about the bullpen, because the bullpen threw a shutout after Migden struggled. So the guys down in the bullpen, it was Hendricks, Axford, Zipczynski, Dull, and then it was Madson in the 9th. And all those guys did a good job. None of them gave up any runs. So let's not forget about those guys.
And only Ryan Madson, the only pitcher, didn't walk a batter tonight. He came in the first 3 out of the strike zone, and it seemed that every reliever who came in struggled with the first batter. But then they settled down. We saw with Axford 5 in a row out of the strike zone. He did a great job. So fantastic job by the A's bullpen.
All right, Josh Reddick is standing by downstairs. And Josh, whatever you did at the All-Star break, nice job. So it looked like you had a good swing going tonight, and a terrific performance. Thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah, great to be here.
So how much? I mean, listen, it's 4 days off. It's a long time. Your timing can go. Obviously, that didn't happen. But what do you do for the 4 days? I mean, do you pick up a baseball at all, or do you try to just relax?
I didn't even think about baseball. I didn't watch the All-Star game or the Derby. I just got home. I went home to Georgia and relaxed. Spent some family time, went to the beach, played some golf. So it's a complete reset button for myself. I don't know what these guys do, but 12 hits tonight, so we came out swinging the bats pretty good. So maybe the break's exactly what we needed.
Josh, a lot of times, and you get 4 days off, and you know as well as anybody that baseball hitting is a game of timing. You have to have your timing. How did you keep yours? I mean, you were on everything tonight. It seemed like you knew every pitch was coming. How did you keep your timing to the point that you had the game you had?
I don't know. I was pretty exhausted tonight. The flight back yesterday, and then the workout today we had with one kind of just wore me out. So maybe I just slowed things down and was so drained that it just worked out for me. But I think just trying not to do too much. You go out there and like you said, 4 days off, and come out here and you're just trying to get your swing back into the motion, and it just worked out for us, and everybody swung the bat great tonight. So it was a great all-around performance for us. Huge win.
Yeah, and there's always certain signs from an offense that maybe they're starting to put something together, and scoring 2-out runs is one of those. Yeah. We saw it tonight, and boy, it just seems to pick your team up when you get the 2-out runs.
It does. You got 2 outs, and you get 3, 4, 5 hitters come up, and that's all I was trying. I was trying to get on base for KD and Vogt. Those guys swung the bat fantastically tonight. I mean, you see KD go to right center, and we've seen his power all year, and Vogt going to center as well. So it was a good night for those guys as well. So they definitely picked us up.
Now, on your long flight back from Georgia, did you think about your walk-up music? Because you kind of went back to last year a little bit.
Yeah.
Did that help?
It's funny, every time I've pulled this song out of the hat, it's been a home run the very first game. So I don't want to abuse it too much and kind of try to use it every homestand. So I just try to pick my spots with it, and just trying to switch things up. And that's all it is. Every time I use it, it's just trying to switch things up, and it just ends up working out for me.
All right, nice job, Josh. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so a big day for Josh Reddick, and middle of the order was very, very good tonight. Vogt and Chris Davis and Josh Reddick, and they lead the A's to a come-from-behind 8-7 win over the Blue Jays. You've been watching Oakland A's baseball on CSN California, part of the NBC Sports booth. Don't go away. These post-game live with Brody and Bibb starts right now. A's win it 8-7 over the Blue Jays.